Hi, my name's William Kerrigan. It's a sunny afternoon in early November, and we're in our apple orchard. We're going to be talking about the progress that our apple trees have made over the summer. So when these apple trees were planted, they were really small. This tree was actually this tall right here, and it had a few branches that were about this big, but it was a small tree, and it's grown a lot. It's put on a lot of growth since we planted them. They've grown over the summer, and we're gonna have to prune a lot of this, corrective pruning over the winter, but they have grown a lot. They're really vigorous trees, and this variety is Evercrisp. It's a cross between Fuji and Honeycrisp, and it's a late ripening apple in October. All right, this variety of apple tree in this row is called Gold Rush, and it was about this tall when we planted it early in the spring, and it's put on all of this top growth on all these branches, and that'll have to be pruned as well. Gold Rush, here's the apple, is a complex hybrid of Golden Delicious and Crab Apple and Melrose and a few other apples, but it's another late ripening apple. It has some light rusting, and it's fairly tart, sweet apple, and it's great for storage. It'll keep in cold storage for a very long time. If you look on the very terminal bud here, it's really fat. So this is going to be a flower bud. The terminal buds on all these apples are going to be flower buds, and these lateral buds here where the leaves are attached to, they're a lot smaller. If you look here, there's a bud right there, and it's a lot smaller. So that's going to be a vegetative leaf bud if it does decide to break. But this one here will be flower buds, and those flowers will turn into fruits. So next year there could be an apple hanging right here off the tip of this branch, and off the tips of all of these other branches there could be apple clusters. But we probably won't let this tree make that many apples. This tree could probably make 5 or 10 apples would be good, because it's only 2 years old. All right, so this tree is pretty small. Next year we're gonna let it fruit. This year we didn't let any of the trees fruit. We picked off all the apples because we wanted to put all the energy into these branches to make a big tree. Next year this tree could support some apples, but if we let it grow, it would make, this tree would try to make like 40 apples. That's too many. This tree wouldn't be able to support it. It could even be crushed under the weight of all the apples. So we're only gonna let this tree make 10 apples or so. If it does try to make too many apples, it'll waste too much energy. So we want it to grow branches right now while it's young instead of growing apples. So this first year, we didn't get any apples. We only got branches, which is what we wanted. And next year, we'll get a few apples, and then by the third year, we'll have tons of apples because we'll have nice big trees with a lot of branches. All right, we've got our 2 apples in our orchard. It's all Evercrisp and Gold Rush. So we're gonna try these 2 apples, taste test. I've got an apple cutter here. So this is an Evercrisp apple. It's a cross between Fuji and Honeycrisp. So it's got the crisp texture like a Honeycrisp apple. It's got the crisp texture like a Honeycrisp apple, but it has the flavor of a Fuji. So if you can imagine eating a Fuji apple, there's no tartness at all. It's just flat sugar, no acid. It's a very sweet apple, sweeter than most apples, so it's got a high sugar content, but no acid, so it's not very tart, which some people like. I don't like a super tart apple. All right, this is a Gold Rush apple. This is the other half of the orchard that we planted. We've got about 1,000 trees of this as well, and it's a cross between Golden Delicious and Melrose and a Crab Apple. So it's a lot of mixed up genetics, but anyway, it's similar to a Golden Delicious, but it's a little more tart and it's a lot more firm. It's a pretty firm apple. Definitely more tart. See if Bruno likes it. Bruno likes it, maybe. Definitely more tart than the Evercrisp. Still a very sweet apple, and these apples are really good in storage. So you can keep them in your fridge for 3 or 4 months and they'll still be crisp.